The Madlanga Commission also wants the Hawks head of Tactical Operations Management, Brigadier Lesiba Mokoena, to appear again and clarify some of the contradictions in his initial testimony. However, Mokoena told the Commission that he has been given legal advice not to appear again, at least at this stage. For more on this, we are joined by Andy Mashile, retired Interpol ambassador and security strategist. A very good evening to you, Andy. Thanks very much for your time. I didn't know what to make of Mokwena's position, given the fact that one, the commission has powers to subpoena, and two, he works for a state entity. On what base? On what basis can he really challenge this or refuse to come before the commission?
Both you and I, good evening to you. Both you and I saw Ndate Mokoena hanging himself with procedural incompetencies or weaknesses. And what do we mean by that? He failed to guide the young man, the young captain, Kruger, with regard to the purpose, the heart of the mission, which was to go to that address, 137 something Avenue and in Sandhurst. He failed to guide him to say, go there and verify, do nothing else, go find out if indeed the people who are operating there or the task team or the team that's there, whether it's genuine police officers and whether they presented themselves as from the Hawks. He failed, and now he has to apply his mind in terms of counting and recanting all what he said, or most of the things that he said to the commission. I remember that he said towards the conclusion, he said if the Captain Kruger came up and contradicted him from the facts point of view, he would be prepared and willing to apologize. That's hanging yourself. That's really hanging yourself, which created, Vuyo, a negative perception about the going down to Sandhurst by the Hawks, creating a solid suspicion and a negative perception about the involvement of the Hawks in that space at that point in time, whilst the operation, the takedown operation, was going on.
Of course, there's been a debate over whether it was incompetence, as you say, or whether it was willfully misleading the commission.
Or he was scared out of his boots, Vuyo. You saw from time to time he tried to refer to his notes, and you could see the energy in his eyes that he was really wishing for the day to come to an end so that he can go and recollect himself. And you saw when the other commissioner, I don't know if it's Commissioner Baloy, the gentleman on the left-hand side of Judge Madlanga, when he came out guns blazing, tearing the jacket of Ndate Mokoena, because he created a reasonable suspicion that he is not telling the truth. Now, the fact that he says he will not come back to the commission before the legal advice suggests something to me, and that is he went down to the commission thinking that it's going to be a walk in the park with regard to responding to the questions. When Captain Kruger came after him to testify, really a picture of Brigadier Muenham hanging for his dear life under the bus came to the fore.
Lieutenant General Khumalo is back in the hot seat tomorrow. What can we expect?
I am sure, Vuyo, I am certain that we will hear more new names coming to the play, and if it's in the space of transactions, there would be much more to the audit trail in terms of the investigations that his team members would have gathered and would have supplied him with as evidence to put before the commission. I am expecting him to detail what Mr. Matala shared with us on those recordings that were presented by witness A, B, and C, particularly witness C, who played the recording that indicated that there was more to what meets the eye with regard to one, the cancellation of the 360 million tender, the 500,000 paid towards the campaign, the presidential campaign, as he, Mr. Matala, indicated that he paid a sizable amount of money for those who attended the January 8th statement and the request that the minister put before him with regards to funding his presidential ambitions. I am certain that General Khumalo would also establish a better linkage between the three, the tripartite axis, that of the police, in this instance, detailing much more members that would have been part and parcel of those who in his testimony and in his evidence that corroborates the allegations by Ntate Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, suggesting who those officers would be. Also bringing out the names of the Big Five is one of those things that I am looking at as he would be going towards the end of his time with the commission with regard to delivering the testimony as evidence supporting the allegations put forward by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi.
I mean, of course, I mean, the people implicated are yet to tell their side of the story. But when Lieutenant General Khumalo was or appeared before the commission, before, of course, that illness, he did win people's hearts and minds with regard to the WhatsApp messages that he put before the commission between Brown Mokgotsi and Ket Matala to prove that indeed these cartels have infiltrated the criminal justice system to an extent.
Yes, Vuyo. I am sure those WhatsApp messages were the conversations that went on between the two gentlemen. What I'm expecting to further solidify the conversation would be a list of transactions, or what those in the field of finance would refer to as the audit trail. Those who are in the space of finance would talk about the audit trail. The audit trail would detail the request for the petrol money for all those who are involved, plus those who whose audit relationships with Ntate Matala financially did not come to the fore. I am certain that further investigations that are ongoing now, Vuyo, will reveal, amongst other things, the linkages once again with the allegations put forward by Ntate Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, as put forward by those who would have been being the transaction middlemen, those who would be taking the bags full of cash to another location, as we have heard that he's giving out cash bags to General Simbia, amongst others. I would expect tomorrow to pick up visual images of the exchanges in the event where those bags of money were transacted. I am expecting that in those areas where there were exchanges, if there were cameras, the investigators would have obtained footage legally, and that footage might be before our eyes packaged in the evidence that he's going to put before the commission.
I don't know how relevant this is, but of course there's also the matter of allegations of impropriety on his own part, for which he was arrested relating to that irregular appointment of Dineo Mukwele.
It would be very, very critical. I am certain that it might come into play to detail and to explain the frustrations by those that are claimed to be wanting to obstruct the operations of the PKTT. And remember, Vuyo, that he was arrested for Dineo Mukwele's appointment, and many in that space of analyzing and observation would say to me, it's a human relations matter and a matter of misconduct. It's not a criminal offense. And I am expecting him to detail a little bit in terms of that process as it has been used to neutralize him in the investigations of the Big Five and the cartels in Gauteng. I am certain that he will want to use that process to prove a point that those who are opposed to him doing his job and those that are in the pockets of the cartel would use that process to frustrate him, to get him out of the system so that the cartels are protected and he is thrown under the bus.